Hi, I'm Roger Hyam from Edinburgh. It's 10 degrees cooler in Edinburgh, so not all Scottish things are bad at the moment. I think what I'd like to say first is I'm pretty new to the IIIF community. I went to an event in Edinburgh last year, and then we've just got involved in a project where we're starting to implement. And I'd like to just express how lovely it is, what a lovely community you all are, and how nice it is, how welcome I felt to get involved, and people have been very, very helpful in what we've been doing. What I'm going to talk about is a project where we are trying to get IIIF adopted across natural history collections, initially within Europe. From conversations I've had over the last couple of days, I realized that I should really explain what we have in natural history collections. I'm so used to giving presentations where I'm talking to a bunch of biologists that I don't ever bother doing that bit. So there are many natural history collections, hundreds, possibly thousands around the world, mainly in museums or in separate herbaria. A large number, within botany, we have a large number of dried pressed plants, which resemble manuscripts because you have a dried plant stuck on a sheet of paper. My personal institution, we have 3 million of these. Paris Herbarium has 7 million. Kew Gardens Herbarium, I don't know, they've got about 20 million. So there are a lot of these objects, and they're flat and they're a lot like manuscripts. But I take a very botanical perspective because I was a botanist originally. When we look at the entomologists who have a lot more species, they have lots of things on pins, and beetles and butterflies and other insects and things in jars, and are more interested in 3D. And there are many millions of these specimens, possibly billions. So the problem we face is probably quite a familiar one. These are all herbarium specimens. The top left is my own institution, and that's our Zoomify viewer, and looking at rhododendron specimen. That's been running for a while. We have several 100,000 herbarium specimens that have been digitized at quite high resolution. We have a pipeline that produces tile pyramids that we feed through Zoomify. Top right is Berlin. I think they produce tile caches. They've got a flash-based viewer, I think, at the moment for zooming. Bottom left is Paris Herbarium. They have they don't do zooming, but you can download a higher resolution image if you want. But they also have an even higher resolution image around the back that they don't give you easy access to because they don't want to stress their servers. Bottom right is the Natural History Museum in London, which you can't zoom, but you can send them an email and ask for a copy. So the thing is, from a few years ago, this is probably very familiar, this is probably old hat from the point of view of humanities. But from a few years ago, this is successful. We all have our material available under open license online so that people can access it. But from the point of someone like Tina here, who's an actual researcher, it's not particularly useful. It was useful when it first appeared, but not anymore. If you're doing biological research, you're usually interested in a taxonomic group. So you're interested in rhododendrons, or Tina's into Solanaceae, so that's the potato family. And of course, so her research materials are spread evenly, moderately evenly across different institutions. It's the same is true if you're writing a flora or a fauna, so you're interested in a particular geographical region. Specimens for that region will be distributed across multiple institutions. And so you want to be able to access simultaneously in the same way. Now, of course, in this room, we know the answer to this problem, which is how do we, the big problem, how do we provide a unified interface? But this isn't kind of appreciated at all, really, within the natural history community. I've been saying that for a while, and I'm waiting for someone to come up to me and say, yeah, we've got a IIIF endpoint, and it's all working. But nobody has. And so the answer is IIIF. And the solution to our problem would be for all the institutions to expose everything with IIIF. We can write some lovely tools on the front of it. We can have thematic portals that are just looking at a regional flora or just looking at a particular group of plants or animals and pull in data from everywhere. But until we get a critical mass of institutions who do that, then there's no reason to write the tools and there's no reason for other institutions to adopt it. So we have a plan. And we have a small amount of money paying for the time of some of us within different institutions to do something. We're being funded under a program called Synthesis Plus by the European Commission. We've got until January 2021 for my part of the project, this part of the project, which is task 4.3. It's always worth knowing. All these people involved in European projects have to know your tasks and work packages. There is a task 4.1, of course, and a task 4.2, which I'll come to in a minute. We're also, the same people who are involved in this project are involved in CTAF, which is a consortium of European taxonomic facilities. It's about 30 or 40 organizations who all have big collections. And we were already looking at using stable URIs for our specimens, and a lot of us have implemented that. Good semantic web compatible URIs which provide RDF metadata. So it should be fairly simple. Oh my God, I've got 1 minute to link all this stuff together. If you're not familiar with semantic web URIs, this slide's in here. We can basically works on content negotiation so that we have stable URIs for each of those specimens. It can either return RDF or it can return human readable page, depending on what you want. We already have that system. We need to work out how we then link into that system IIIF manifests so that a user can go from an ID for a specimen to a IIIF view of that specimen if it has it. We also need to work out how we get machines to be able to walk from the RDF data to the IIIF manifest and from the IIIF manifest back to the RDF data so that it all stitches together, preferably without anybody having to see any of this. So we're and particularly what we need by kind of the end of the year is some kind of mashup interface to demonstrate this and to increase interest within the community and get more institutions on board so that we can have momentum going. So please talk to me about any of these points or anything else that you think might be relevant to our rollout. I've already spoken to a few people and it's been very interesting. But over the next couple of days, grab me if you can. Catch me if you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roger.